time together. So, who's going to be first today? All right, Nancy's going to be first. All right, hold up. Are you picking up, Joe? Try again, Nancy. Let me see what she's got. She's got HH8. Number. I don't know. We've got so many mics this morning, we can't keep them all straight.
All right. First of all, while they're still here, oh my goodness, thank you. Thank you. And Tim, thank you for your amazing words that we needed to hear. So I have 10 questions written down. I'm just going to do one.
10 questions, huh, Nancy? Woo.
Yes, see? All are created equal. We've heard that all our lives. All are created equal. How can we hold this and encourage and see and be with being created equal? Can we go beyond creation and live into that?
You know, so I'll just start off, and Em, if you want to pop in an idea with this as well. I think you know that an idea is really working when it gets resistance. And in the last few years, there's been more and more resistance to this idea, okay? So, you know, when ideas are really starting to stick and the people who hate the ideas are worried they're losing the battle, that's when it kicks up. And that's what we're seeing. I know we can be discouraged by kind of what is happening in our divisive society these days, where I'm with you, Nancy. I grew up feeling like this is our creed and this is God. All of us are created equal, that's just a given. And for that to be debated as if it's true, I'm going to say as a sign of hope that this is a desperate gasp of those who would oppose this idea of striking out. But I'm going to stop there. Emma, you want to hop on that, Annie?
Sure. I have to pose the question, what is the validation for created equal? What would be the validation to affirm and confirm created equal? Right? That is the question. When your experiences afford you a skewed experience of what created equal is, and you have to actively live in a social construct that continues to debunk equality, being created equal becomes questionable for some, but a reality that equal is not a lived experience. Even with your spiritual understanding of who the Creator is, even with dissecting of scriptural and biblical language, that is what is used to inform most of our spiritual lives. Equality, historically for us, did not start here in the Americas. Right? Didn't start here. So created equal being given a different understanding and origin based on the societal construct here, sometimes, oftentimes more than not, is not aligned with who we are created to be. So navigating those constructs of inequality, right, continues to merit a re-examination of created equal when there's no acknowledgement of us as a creation. Yeah.
Carol?
I said this last week, or whenever we did the other one. My mother taught me, and I think Carlisle Marnie had taught her, everybody does the best they can do under circumstances they have endured. And we need to love everybody knowing that they have gone through that. And so even though none of us have an equal situation in our lives, we have to be very accepting of everybody because they don't choose to be the way that they are all the time. I mean, don't you think that kind of has something to do with this? I don't know, maybe it doesn't, but it does to me.
Thanks for sharing that, Carol. Somebody else? What's your question? The sermon? Come on so we can hear you. The sermon, gospel music, Juneteenth. And tell us your name.
Oh, my name is Lisa. I have a question. I didn't get a chance to hear the arrangement for Lift Every Voice and Sing, but I understand it was a different arrangement than the traditional one. And if you would, as a musician, as a creative, or as a professional, talk a little bit about that arrangement and what you were hoping for everyone to experience whenever they heard it.
Okay.
Thank you. Oh, she wants, Lisa, can you see it? Well, yeah.
I talked too fast.
You got it, Emma? Or you wanna?
Did you get the question?
I got the question.
Can you repeat it for me?
Okay. Yeah. Sure. She asked, as the arranger of that version of Lift Every Voice and Sing, what was it that I wanted to convey or communicate to everyone in arranging it that way? That's the solo Emil did at the very beginning of the worship experience. When arranging that rendition of Lift Every Voice and Sing, I was very intentional about giving and creating imagery that would take us all on a journey. The hope was to embody the experiences of our ancestors who endured to come here to the Americas. All of those moments in our history, the slave movement here in the Americas, the United States, that birthed a song like Lift Every Voice and Sing, what it means to sojourn through, to hear the wails, to hear the cries, to understand the bodies that went over into the seas because they couldn't endure. Just understanding that it is not just right now. Juneteenth is all about a journey, all about the entire journey, not just this moment on a calendar, but our opportunity to remember, yes, to honor our ancestors, yes, to thank God who created us all, absolutely. But to remember what freedom is and how it rings, how it continues to need to ring, because that's not a period. That wasn't a period, but more of a comma or a semicolon. What will be the next statement? What will be the next step? What will be the next action that reinforces freedom overall, especially with us and within our community? Okay. Yeah.
Who's next? Yeah, Corin, go ahead.
Hi, I'm Corin.
Hi.
I am not aware of how today came to be, so just if somebody could describe that a little bit, I'd be interested in hearing it.
Well, today came to be for me through a phone call. That really is a David question, and he's not around. The origins of it, it was an Emil and David collaboration.
Yeah, Emma, can you give us you want to give us a clue? David ran out the door. So.
Hey, good afternoon. So today was conceptualized as an idea for an authentic and immersive Juneteenth experience that was supposed to be a total 180 of what has been done since I've been in worship with Myers Park. I know it's typically approached from our esteemed chancel choir, with our esteemed black folders, with our esteemed scored music, with our esteemed pipe organ. So in this space and in under the umbrella of religion, there are different ways that we worship and that we praise, but it's kind of all in a universal way where everybody does something differently. Everyone fries and bakes their chicken in different ways, but it's still fried or baked or grilled. So we just got to talking about different ways to season today's service to make it more flavorful in some areas and to make it different than what we're used to here at Myers Park on a weekly basis. And at first it started out as just, would you be interested in singing this solo? And I'm like, sure, David, I'll learn it, I'll go ahead and sing it. Then it turned into like, well, okay, I was just told that you are more capable of doing this and that you have a lot of skills that I don't know about. And I was like, who told you that? So then when my cloak was pulled off from things that he didn't know about, it turned into more as far as would you be interested in possibly picking and selecting music and teaching music, because I was told that you can do all of these things. And I said, sure, I can help with that. I said, but just to make sure I'm structurally sound, this is me after we got off the phone. I said, I'm going to have a discussion with my sister because she is my original minister of music. We are from a musical family. Today is every Sunday of my formative life for at least the first 18 years of my life, and then so on and so forth. All siblings, both parents, all siblings, rotational microphones. I can't do that part today. We switch parts in the middle of the song, that type of thing. Everything that you saw today is very organic and true to us, as our DNA is us being the Foster family. So once I discussed with my sister had a meeting with me, and I got some clarity on some things because I misinterpreted some things. And I explained to her that that's not at all what I was doing. I just wanted to pick the songs, and can you come and be a guest musician? And she was like, okay, I can do that. And then it kind of took off from there. Can we put a band together? Can we do this? Can we do that? What else can we add? Can we do this? Can we memorize the music? Will the folders be down? Absolutely. Can we leave the folders in the choir room? Sure. Can we have a separate rehearsal? Great. So it kind of turned into this whole barrage of emails and texts and phone calls and daily meetings to pull off what you all were able to worship and enjoy today. So that's kind of how it was conceptualized.
And Emma, you had to direct the choir a couple of rehearsals, right? You had to teach them a new way to learn music. Is that not correct?
Absolutely. I will say now, I will give credence to the choir. I'll give respect where it is due. Their vocals are fantastic. And as it is with anything, right? If we've never driven a motorcycle, we're not going to jump over and take off and do wheelies, right? That's not realistic. That's not realistic. But just as I shared with the choir, this experience was a trust fall. It was a trust fall experience. I'd never worked with them. They'd never worked with me, right? And even if you don't know my background or my history or how well versed I am in something, and even if you do, taste and see that Emma knows what she's doing became real, right? So progressively, rehearsal after rehearsal, we were able to do just that. And the valid thing in any experience is relationship. If you don't establish relationship, that connection will not be there in order for anything else to be built upon it. So relationship is necessary, and that's what we had to have. We had to have relationship to begin the trust fall. And literally, I had to tell them, I got you. Go ahead and lean back. I got you. So learning how to rely on not just the director, but a guest director. This is not an in-house person. This is a guest and that she knows what she's doing. We don't need the folders. I mean, words were eliminated as frequently as last night. Last night, there was a monitor staged to be up there. Fiasco, off. All right, so there had to be a reiteration that I have you, and they had me as well. It was definitely a collaborative effort. They were my ears in the choir, asking questions, whatever was needed to make sure that what you experienced today was done. All the work was done. So them learning how not to rely on the sheet music or the music, but to actually experience, put yourself in the experience, okay? The lyrics are there. We know what we're doing. The work has been done. Now, put yourself in the experience, your whole self. And that's the only way any of us can experience change. Your whole self has to be placed intentionally in the experience, okay? Yeah.
You know, Emma, to that piece about being in the experience, one of the things that had to go on the cutting room floor with the sermon, which may come back later, is a quote about how do you learn to be courageous? And the quote is that it's like swimming. You learn swimming by swimming. You learn to be courageous by couraging. So we were immersed in this experience, and that's how you become courageous. You immerse yourself in courageous acts.
Okay, I thought this was very spiritual, but I also have a logistical question. Did you ever consider doing this in the sanctuary, and why or why not?
We absolutely considered doing it in the sanctuary. And I wish Joe was here. He's skedaddled out and David is not here. We initially had planned every facet of this to be held in the sanctuary. But logistically, the acoustics in the sanctuary would not have given the intimate experience and encapsulated the sound in a way that would have allowed the parishioner to really feel the connection with the music and the choir while we were in here. And just really, the sound quality in this space was more conducive to this instrumentation in here. Now, if we had more time, you would have to re-equip and adapt that sanctuary space to embody this all the time. But it is not structurally established to have this all the time in there. So it really was structural. The sound in there is just not made, really, to capture this in a way where it wouldn't have been lost. The experience and all that vastness in there would have kind of undermined the whole experience. So, yeah. Trust, I asked the question too. When it was moved, I asked the question first. So, yes.
I just want to say to Emma and Emil and Emmett and the entire fabulous band who, you guys, they don't play together all the time. I wish you would tell about how the band came to when I finish saying my thank yous, but this as a choir member has been a pinnacle experience for me. And I believe for our choir, if I can speak for everybody, and I'm so grateful. Thank you.
Thank you, Janet. I am happy to speak to how this band came to be. 3 of us up here went to college together. We've been playing together forever, me being the senior of those members. But Billy, the other keyboardist, I met him when he was 17. Brandon on the drums, I met him when he was 17. They were freshmen coming to college. And they became a part of the gospel choir there under my tutelage and leadership, and that's how our relationship came to be. The bass guitarist, I just met for this project. Omar on the percussions, Emil knew him. He came to us by way of Emil. So we rehearsed, we communicated, and the lead guitar, I met him. Billy is his own minister of music at church in South Carolina. He and Derek, the lead guitarist, play together frequently. So again, relationships and the network, being able to call and give kind of an overview of what we're doing here or what we were doing here today, being able to practice, and we got it done today. Yeah. Mm-hmm.
Music has always been a place of sacredness for me. And growing up with the gospel, I could get into that. It was wonderful, but it's a universal, whether it's classical or gospel or jazz or whatever. To me, it's the language of God. That it doesn't have words necessarily, but it just speaks to another level, I believe, of us. What do you say to that?
Agreed. 1,000 bazillion times. I agree. Music is the one best friend that I have always had from the time I entered, before I got here, because my mom was a vocalist, my father a vocalist and a musician, all of that was my dad's home. The organ, the keyboard, my sister, our older sister, her as well. That's what she does. Another older sister, bass guitarist. My brothers are more of the vocalists. I can hold my part, but as you can see, the vocalists were out here vocaling. But music in me has carried me through so many moments, and I also am a writer, an arranger, and sometimes when words don't work, music speaks louder, and I'm sure we all can connect with that. However we're feeling and things we do, we find a song that aligns, right? To help either carry us through, to elevate our joy, to continue to paint the picture of who we are at that moment. Because those moments shift throughout the day. You might start the morning in ballads or classical and end it in rock. Who knows? But God and the manifestation of God meeting you where you are, there is nothing more parallel to that than music.
For those lines, while Susan Kate's coming up, I think it was Augustine, I could be off on this quote, but said that to sing is to pray twice.
My name is Kate. I just wanted to thank you for the experience of joy. Thank you.
You're welcome.
And the universe is music.
Absolutely. Thank you.
Anybody else? We're not gonna stay on forever. So if you got your questions, let's keep the energy up. So come on.
Okay, I've always said I would never ever say anything because this group is so intelligent, and I've always said that, but I just want to say, Standing on the Promises is my most favorite hymn.
Oh.
And it's number 288 in the Baptist hymnal that I grew up with my whole life till we came here, and we don't use the Baptist hymnal here. But did you all choose that, or did David choose that, or?
I chose it.
I love that.
Right.
Thank you.
Right.
It brought back a lot of, almost made me teary.
Oh, you're welcome. I got the scriptural references that were going to be used today, and immediately Standing on the Promises was the hymn. Immediately, yeah.
Well, number 288, if you
Sure.
I've always come from had a great appreciation for black gospel music, and I always qualify that because I grew up with a lot of Southern gospel. So gospel can have multiple meanings, but I've always liked the organic nature of it. And I've come from a tradition, or I think our society as a whole, we understand God the Father and God the Son, but the Holy Spirit seems to be something we don't always get. And what I like about gospel music is the spiritual nature of it. Like, you never hear the same song twice. Talk about that cultivation of the Spirit in the music that change it, or that, how did you, how do people know, okay, we're going to keep going with this, or we're going to stop, or, I get it. No, I understand it. I just want y'all to hear. I mean, and I just want everybody to hear how that happens and the spirit that moves during that time.
Absolutely. I'm happy to speak about that. Cathartic experiences. Everybody knows what that is. Cathartic experiences mean that you allow yourself to be inhabited, right? You're not outside of the music. You're in it. You're in it. You step in the music. Now, it is, from my perspective, it's a navigation I have to do as a minister of music, directing, making sure the choir, and I had to let them know that I had to play as well because they just wanted me to direct. But, directing the band, and there are moments where I just want to play and be in the music. But availability is necessary from a spiritual perspective. Moving self and allowing yourself to be inhabited and stepping into the experience. Allowing that to happen and just going with your feeling as a vessel, as a vehicle through which spirit manifests. You allow that. In therapeutic world, there's a practice that I'm sure you all are familiar with, and we have to work really hard on it. It's called mindfulness. Mindfulness. And I mean, mindfulness is across cultures, but the principle around mindfulness, apply that to gospel music. Gospel is the good news. If you sit in that very definition, spread the gospel, you're spreading the good news. If you embody that, if you allow yourself to step into, I am now responsible for spreading the good news, and remembering that you are the total praise. You are. It is an active embodiment of that in order for the manifestation of that to become real. Real. Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
All right, Emma, you got a last word for us?
A word of gratitude, of course, pouring from my lips. Thank you all so much for being willing to have us and share in this moment, to really allow this moment to be a blessed tie that binds. I appreciate that. Yes. Yes.
Friends, go in peace and joy and love. Amen.